Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Icons of New India. I'm Devina Lasson and we're going to continue our quest to find the best and the brightest new businesses and the leaders who are fashioning their path to success. On the episode today, we'll meet with two entrepreneurs who are challenging the status quo in their respective spheres and whose businesses are setting new benchmarks for others in the industry to aspire to. Take a look.
Founded 28 years ago, Kajaria is the largest wall and floor tile manufacturing company in India with a capacity of 68.60 million square meters per annum and a turnover of 2,695 crore rupees. Kajaria has 11 manufacturing plants across India that are equipped with cutting-edge technology, intense automation and robotic car application. With a wide range of products on offer, Kajaria has today become synonymous with quality, service and innovation. The brothers and joint managing directors of the company, Rishi and Chetan Kajaria, have today taken the reins of the company, and it is under their leadership that the company has attained numerous milestones.
Chetan, Rishi, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here
Thank
today.
you.
So Chetan, let's start with you. Take us through your journey of working at Kajaria since you joined in 1999.
When I joined the company in March 99, I started a chain of international standard tile showrooms, mainly in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, to enhance the display awareness amongst the dealer community.
Right, yeah.
So in a span of 5 years, we opened roughly 30 such showrooms, and this, I would say, wave caught on in the market, and dealers started making more showrooms of bigger sizes to give the customer a more enhanced experience. So I would say this was the beginning of my journey in Kajaria, where I got first-hand information and grassroots level experience in the market, where every market is unique and different, so this was a very big learning experience for me.
Sure, absolutely. And Rishi, you joined in 2000, and soon after that you took the reach of Kajaria well beyond India, to Europe, to China. So tell us about these associations.
Okay, so I joined the company in 2000. I trained under my dad for a couple of years. With him, I went to a couple of international exhibitions. That's where we found a lot of scope for the imported tile market in India. And that is how we got the idea of importing tiles in India. 2003, we opened the biggest showroom in India called Kajaria World for imported tiles. That is how my journey started with my company.
Yeah, and now you were very keen and you had very clear goals in mind for your company in terms of expansion plans, both for the manufacturing units as well as the showrooms, as you've already mentioned. So can you tell us a little bit about these expansions that you had personally spearheaded?
10 years into the business, our north-based plants were running at full capacity. I realized that acquisitions was the need of the hour, since we wanted to ramp up capacity with minimum capital investment. So we did the first ever acquisition in the company, buying ceramic total plant in Gujarat in 2011, which worked very well. And subsequently we did one more acquisition in Vijayawada and Andhra Pradesh for a wall tile plant in 2012. So as of now, the ceramic tile division has the installed capacity of 29 million square meters per annum. With respect to the showrooms, I would say our primary focus has been on smaller towns and cities. So we are very aggressively expanding our dealer showrooms in the smaller towns, because we believe that the growth potential of the country lies there and they have great potential for the future.
Sure, absolutely. And Rishi, you've been instrumental in the vitrified tiles department. Tell us about what you've done for this department in the company.
Correct. So we started in 2003, as I said, with the imported tiles. We imported huge amount of tiles from China and Europe till 2009. Then, because of the dollar fluctuations and the freight factors in the north, we thought it's high time we'd put up a plant. So 2010, we put up our first manufacturing plant in Sikandrabad of 3 million square meters.
Wow.
From 2010 to 2016, in 6 years, we put up almost 7 plants, and now the vitrified tile capacity is almost 40 million square meters.
Wow. You've also added faucets and sanitary ware to Kajaria's gamut. Tell us, what were the opportunities and the gap in the market that you saw that inspired you to include this in your collection?
Yeah, so in 2011, we got this opportunity. The Turkish sanitary ware giant Vitra came to us and wanted to tie up with Kajaria. We thought it's a good opportunity to import sanitary ware and faucets and get into this industry.
Okay.
So we imported that for a couple of years. 2014, we realized that there's a huge gap in the Indian market. I mean, we can, why not have our own brand? And that's how we launched Kerovit, our own brand. and put up 2 manufacturing facilities in Gujarat and Bhiwadi for sanitary ware and faucets. We feel there's a huge potential in this industry.
Yeah. Can you give us an overview of the entire range of products that Kajaria offers?
Kajaria offers more than 2,000 designs in all the verticals combined together, ranging from a price point of 23 rupees per square feet to 140 rupees per square feet, something which every customer can aspire to. And our endeavor is to make sure that they get a very enhanced shopping experience when they go to our showrooms, the dealer showrooms.
Okay, great. Let's talk a little bit about numbers. Now, can you tell us how many people do you employ, how many dealers do you have, and what's the annual turnover of the company?
So let's start with the dealers. We have almost 1,100 dealers all over India. Out of that, about 200 to 250 would be exclusively selling Kajaria tiles. Coming to our plants, today now we have 11 plants all over India, producing a total capacity of 69 million square meters. And we employ almost about 5,000 people directly with Kajaria company.
Fantastic. And what's the annual turnover of the company?
We did a turnover of 2,700 crores gross last year.
Fantastic, okay. And Chetan, now both of you are second-generation entrepreneurs after all. What are some of the challenges that you faced as second-generation entrepreneurs?
I would say not the word challenges, it was a continuous learning process for both of us. It took us a couple of years when we joined the business to find our feet and gain the respect of our team members. But I would say we worked hard, were very focused and had very clear objectives which helped us turn around these challenges into opportunities.
Yeah. Now, Rishi, we live in a world that has been deeply impacted by technological revolution. So how do you at Kajaria sort of keep up with the trends in technology, and how has technology been key in your growth story?
It's been a very, very important factor. At Kajaria, we've always made sure that we have the best technology in all our plants. For that, we send all our key people to Italy and China to always train them in these plants. Keeping abreast of the technology, on a new expansion in Sikandrabad, we have imported the biggest press in India for 10,000 tons, which will make the biggest tile in India. This must be the 3rd or the 4th press probably in the world. Other things for technology, we also have the latest digital machines.
All right. Now, Chetan, the government has issued a clarion call to make in India. How does this impact your industry and as well as your company in particular?
I would say we have answered this call to the fullest. Our entire manufacturing facilities are based in India, 100%. And whatever expansions we're also planning are also based in India itself.
You know, there's also a lot of talk about the ease of doing business in India, and the government really vows to sort of stick to this. What would you ask for? What is your ideal set of requirements in terms of government aid and government policy to help your sector as a whole?
I think we're very comfortable with all the policies of the government. For instance, like gas is a major raw material for our industry, and with the initiative of the government, our gas prices have really come down. So as Kajaria, we are very comfortable and we are very happy with the way the government is conducting business in India.
Okay, fantastic. And Chetan, tell us quickly about competition. How do you stay ahead of competition and what differentiates you from the competitors?
I would say we keep our eyes and ears open. We interact on a regular basis with our dealers, raw material suppliers, machinery suppliers, just to know what is happening, where we can adapt some new changes. We attend international exhibitions and adopt the latest technologies, the machines. Also, we keep in touch with the Indian markets because every market is unique and has different tastes. Plus, we are doing a lot of spending on advertising. We are very aggressively stepping up our ad campaign to capitalize upon push the brand further.
So to summarize, just tell us, what does Kajaria have in the pipeline? What do you foresee for your future and what can customers expect from you?
Well, definitely Kajaria is and will strive to be the #1 company in India, giving the best of designs, the best of quality tiles, value for money, and the right experience for our customers. With the showrooms which we are making all over India, we are going deep down in tier 2, tier 3 cities, spending a lot of money there because that is what will differentiate us from anybody else.
Okay. Well, Chetan, Rishi, thank you so much for joining us and
Pleasure.
all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Prime Minister himself, when he took over as Prime Minister of the country, made 2-3 very important announcements. One was Search Bharat Abhiyan. Later on, housing for all, then came smart cities. These are very positive, especially for industry which is tiles and sanitary ware and sanitary fittings. And as you know, real estate bill has been passed on 1st of May 2016, which is again very, very positive for the industry because this will allow good builders to stay in, and when good builders stay in, they will use our tiles. And also GST is a reality which should happen from 1st of April. Looking at all the points, I think Kajaria should grow much faster than the industry. Industry should grow at about 8 to 10% in the next 3 to 5 years.
There is a significant change in industry and company dynamics. Tiles have become more beautiful and bigger with the help of digital technology and replacing lot of low-end and high-end marble. We at Kajaria were having plants in north only. We have added plants in west and south, which have helped us to reduce our logistic cost and time. We were into one segment only, ceramic glazed tile. We have added polished vitrified tile, glazed vitrified tile, and recently foray into sanitary ware and faucet. So giving complete basket to the customers.
And I want to hear what the employees have to say, because my greatest asset are my people.
It was in 1998 that a young lady entrepreneur battled against all odds to start up a business using a traditional brick and mortar approach to overhaul the executive search industry. And thus, Stellar Search was born, and Shailja Dutt was at the helm of it.
Amidst voracious international competition, Stellar Search is the first Indian executive search firm to successfully create brand recall at the top end of the retained executive search market across Southeast Asia, India, the Middle East and Africa. The values and processes of a big corporate and the soul of a startup, along with its global outlook with local expertise, is what makes Stellar one of the most well-recognized names in 25 countries across 4 continents.
Shailja, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Hi Davina, pleasure to be here.
So Shailja, it's been about 18 years and I think thousands of clients since you started up Stellar. So can you take us a little bit through the journey and tell us how did it all begin?
So I used to be a professional. I was working in corporate life. I worked for another large global executive search firm. And when I had my first son, at that point in time, I realized that, I couldn't cope with the pressure of traveling in this job. And I had a little baby to raise, and I said, let me just stay home for a while, and let me try and do this, the executive search business as a small boutique sort of consultant operating from home. And that was then. And here we are today. We're a global company. We're spreading our wings across all markets, and especially emerging markets across the world. So the intent was never to become an entrepreneur. It happened more by default than by design.
Fantastic. You've really grown a lot since the starting days, it seems. In that case, can you take us through the range of services that you offer? And what would you say are sort of the key industries that come to you as the first point when they're looking for their executive positions?
So we're a blue blood executive search firm. We do only leadership hiring. Our focus is hire the right leaders and help companies augment their business through that leadership talent. So we specialize as a firm which is an emerging market specialist across Asia and Africa. So markets for us which are very large and important would be Singapore, Indonesia, China, India, the Middle East, and most of East and South Africa.
Right.
And now an emerging footprint in Nigeria, which is West Africa. That is what we do. And we source candidates from all across the globe for our clients in these markets. In terms of industry focus, for the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry, and I'd say this without any modesty, I think definitely across Asia and Africa, and to some extent even globally, we are the first point of call.
Fantastic.
So whether it's devices, diagnostics, pharmaceuticals, active pharmaceutical ingredients, hospital services, Stellar is the firm of choice. And then we have our consumer practice. This is our B2C practice. We work a lot with consumer clients in emerging markets. It's a practice that's particularly strong for us in Africa and India, and growing for us in Southeast Asia. We do a lot of retail-led real estate, FMCG, FMCD, that sort of work. And then there's the brick and mortar practice. This is a large practice. It has, at the helm of this practice is infrastructure and EPC. oil, gas and energy. And then we have manufacturing, which we're seeing as, something which could be the growth engine, especially for the practice here in India. And there's engineering, manufacturing, very profitable but very niche. And we're very focused and specialized in that area is defense and aerospace.
Right.
I think we're one of the two firms in India definitely, and probably across Asia, that works very actively in that space.
Let's talk a little bit about numbers. Can you tell us roughly how many potential employees are placed with companies through Stellar Search? And what are the number of countries that you exist in currently, and how big is your team globally?
So we're a 50-people team, very lean, very small if you look at the number of countries we operate in or the number of clients we manage at a given point in time. We typically would do about 100 to about 120, 150 leadership hires in a year.
Right.
And when we're talking about leadership, we're talking about CEOs, board level positions, or we're talking about CXOs who report into either the promoter owner or to a CEO of a company. In terms of area of operations, we operate in every emerging market in Asia. So markets like Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Myanmar, Singapore, China. China is huge for us.
Yeah.
And then we have India, which is the largest piece of the pie because we originated from India. The Middle East, which is growing. And then Africa, which I see as the future for the company.
But speaking of employees, what is sort of the trend with your current employee base? Do they stay with your company for many years? Is this a challenge that perhaps people fluctuate and switch jobs like in any other industry? Tell us a little bit about the culture within your employee base.
Average age of organization would be 30-ish. For a lot of companies, this could be a huge challenge. I think for us, we derive our energy from it because these are very passionate, very energetic people who bring their passion and energy to work every day. I think we've tried to create a culture of inclusiveness where every employee has a say. My door is always open and I want to hear what the employees have to say because my greatest asset are my people.
On that note, let's hear from some of the employees at Stellar Search.
Every individual here is empowered to take decisions that really matter, that have a tangible difference on the work they do. When I look around the office, when I look at people working here, the energy, the buzz is almost addictive. The sense of ownership that drives everyone in Stellar is very hard to replicate anywhere else.
Well, when I joined Stellar about a year and a half back, I was ready for a complete industry switch. But it was surprising how customer-centric the processes here are. We use state-of-the-art technology here with all of us working on an Apple-enabled environment. It's a company which lives its values. And that's what we're taught every day that we're working here.
Yours is an industry that is really dominated by international players. So how does Stellar manage to be the #1 Indian player in this space? And what differentiates you from your competition, both national as well as international?
It's a question that's always best asked to a client. That why do you work with Stellar? What is special about the company? And why do you continue to give business to Stellar? But I'd like to believe that it comes from our philosophy of building leadership teams with passion. That it comes from our very core values of passion and courage and integrity and empathy. What we really stand for is what sets us apart. But again, somewhere behind all of this, there is an underlying philosophy with which the company operates, and that philosophy is client first.
Yeah.
So the organization works on client first, the promoter founder works on employees first. And I think it is this combination which helps us use processes, it helps us use technology to deliver business value to our clients. And if I'm not delivering tangible business value, the client's not going to be coming back to us. So to us, I think it is this magic formula which has come together of people, processes, and values which are so deeply embedded in the DNA of every employee in this company, which helps us then enable client businesses. And that, I think, is the reason why we're top of the mind recall for all our clients. It doesn't matter which market we operate in.
And finally, on a closing note, what's in the future? What's in the pipeline for Stellar Search?
For us, I think the opportunity lies in new markets. So we're looking to build a larger umbrella brand, and looking at tying up with smaller search firms in markets across the world.
Well, Shailja, thank you so much for being with us. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you on this episode of Icons of New India. But stay tuned to the channel as we decode more success stories of inspirational companies and entrepreneurs. Until then, goodbye and many thanks for watching.